Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19, and welcome back to Sandy Bay 19. So, this is what's going on. I have rigged our TerraTrack class for mowing, and we did buy the mowers. We've got grass, and we're going to be doing hopefully 2 or 3 cuts per season, so thought it was worth it to buy the mowers. We leased the rake for now because it's 100,000 almost said rubles. Too much time in Escape from Tarkov. It's 100,000 euro, and we don't have that kind of money right now. In fact, I'll bring this back up. Right there, yeah, boy, 1,600 euro. We really don't have any money. We don't have enough to buy this big rake, but I did buy the mowers. And then behind us, you saw this is all leased. We'll start with this. This is is it the Sinus? I think it's called. It's an unfortunate name. We leased this. This is from the Class Platinum DLC. It's a 3-bale grab, only for a wheel loader. This is from the Straw Harvest DLC, which is free for 19. It was a paid DLC for 17, but they're giving it away for 19. So we leased this as well, and we did get it in the class colors. And then we leased the big pack, and we leased it configured to accept the stacker. And this is, it's not really a stacker, it's more of a collector. It unfolds and it lines up 3 square bales side to side to side and then drops them at once. And then this corresponding grab over here can pick up all 3 at once. So I don't know if it's any more efficient, honestly, but it's fun to play with. So I thought, let's do that. And God, look how big this thing is. I mean, this is not the biggest wheel loader. It's almost a kind of a compact wheel loader. But it's still a wheel loader. It's a pretty big piece of equipment. And then look at this thing. It just eats it. It dwarfs it. Crazy. Take a quick spin around the farm. I'll show you what I've done so far. I did mow this field. I did mow this field, which is the field. I believe this is the field where the cows will spawn when we open the dairy. I don't know how far down they'll spawn because the dairy proper is over here to the, I guess that's the south. Right? So I would assume that the animals will spawn more sort of around the back, closer to where the troughs are. But they may spawn and fill this entire field. Regardless, we went ahead and mowed the entire field, and then I did rake it. And we will bale this up, and then we'll need to wrap those bales for silage because I didn't leave it spread out to become hay. And I believe the grass has to be spread to become hay. I don't fully understand the way that mechanic works in 19, as far as the wet grass, the dry grass. Oh. And we do have a tedder, but because everything's dry, we didn't use it. And I'll do a quick spin around here just to show you where we're at with wool and animals, and then we'll get to mowing. And we may or may not finish that field today, but wool continues to be produced. I think we're done for the summer now. We're not going to make any wool during the summer, but we did get 45 pallets, just about 45. And we had, when we took our trailer down before, it had 22 on it, I want to say. 21, 22, and we got about 15 grand for it. So theoretically, there's 30,000 of wool right there. That's not a lot. For all that work, all the sheep, all the food, everything, that's really not a lot. So we're going to wait for a great demand before we take that down and sell it. There is our tedder right there. We bought that as well. And the animals themselves, in fact, we'll go over here so we can take a look. I know sheep are eating grass from the fields, and the reason I know that is when we go here down to field 21, if we turn grass on and go here, we get these little trapezoids. Now, I don't know the mechanic of this either. I don't know if they eat from the entire pasture, and this is only the area that they've eaten from so far, and it will continue to trapezoid its way down here. Or if this is the designated area and they eat from there. I don't know if it's per sheep or how that works out. But they are eating some grass from there, and then we're topping them off with hay. And what that means for us essentially is this entire field, no sheep in this field, so we can mow this entire field. And we'll very quickly go over here, and I can show you that area that they did eat from. This field, we're going to work on this off camera, because we'll have to drive right through the sheep, and that's immersion braking. Where's our line? Did we pass it? Here's our line. So this is second harvest stage grass, and this is first harvest stage grass. So this is the area that has been eaten by the sheep, but we've got all this field all the way down there to the north. You saw how fat that row was in the cow pasture. I assume the rows will be just as fat in these fields as well. So I think we're going to get quite a few bales from first cut. A third of them will be for silage. 2/3 of them will be hay for the animals. And then, is there one more? Oh, there's one more thing. So field 2 and field 1 is growing, and I did get a third layer of fert on both of these, and I did spray them for weeds. We just have a few in field 2. We just have a couple little areas between rows that I missed, but they are limed, triple fertilized, and weeded and plowed. So we will have absolutely maximum yield, 200% yield for our canola crop. I think that's it. All right, let's get to work. So this mow set is from the Claas DLC, the Claas Platinum DLC, and it does have swathing on the back. You can't set those butterflies up to swath, but we're going to leave them on spreading for now because I want this grass to dry. And in fact, yeah, let's start this way. I want this grass to dry. So we will put this back in gear, start that, drop that. And let's pull up a little bit. And then we'll start these. Nope, start, I said. There you go. And then we'll pull up a bit and drop those. Set the cruise control, here we go. I don't know how long this field's gonna take. The other one didn't take, it didn't take too long, but these are some pretty big fields. So we'll see how this goes, and I'll leave this spread, and we'll see how long it takes for it to dry into hay. As far as I understand it, and I learned this on Greenwich, I want to say. Yeah, if the grass is dry, and it is, and if the drying conditions are correct, it is cloudy right now. Yeah, or it's going to become cloudy. That's what the forecast says. But if the conditions are good for drying, it will dry in a certain amount of time. The better the conditions are, the faster it will dry, and it will dry into hay. If it's wet grass, you have to ted it, or it will never be anything but wet grass. Yeah, I think I said that right. I don't fully understand it. It's been, people have explained it to me. It has been explained, and after it's explained, then it's right. Do you get it now? And I say, yeah, no, not really. So I've read through the season's manual. I've gone to their website, and people have explained it. I still can't quite make sense of it. But regardless, at some point we will have hay. And God, these fields, man. Maybe it's because of the way they slope down. But from the farm, looking out over these fields, they don't seem that big. And the length of this row, man. How long have we been on this same row? Just, yeah. We're making some hay. We're making some hay. So, yeah, we'll get those other bales from the cow pasture. We'll get those stacked somewhere. We will lease the square bale wrapper, the Kuhn square bale wrapper, and we'll get that sorted out. I don't know what we'll end up with. It could be, depending on how we're doing for money, it could be that we don't even sell those, and we just keep them for the cows when we open the dairy. Sorry, I spaced out there for a second. So we will need food for, yeah, the cows they'll eat grass from the pasture. We can feed them hay, and we can feed them TMR. And I think that's everything they need. So, yeah, we'll see what we want to do with those silage bales once they're wrapped. And depending on how we're doing on money, yeah, that's going to be the biggest thing, I think. Whether we desperately need money or whether we can save that for food. Or we could conceivably sell the first pile of silage bales that we get, and then the second one later in the season when we do second cut, we can put those up for the cows. TBD, we will figure it out. But yeah, this is going to take a minute. And hopefully, yeah, I think I could finish in 30 minutes. So hopefully we can get this whole field done. And then the next one over, the actual sheep meadow over there, that's even bigger. If the mechanic for that mod, where the sheep feed themselves, if the mechanic for that does have a designated area, in this case that trapezoid of second harvest stage grass, if that's what they're eating from, that works out because we can simply mow around it and know that we won't ever be taking that food supply from the animals. They'll always have that grass to eat. Sort of in a pinch, right? They won't starve. And I think, yeah, unless that extends downward, you know what I mean? Like every time they cycle to the next third of a season. So in this case, the third day of summer would be the middle third of summer. I don't know if we get another trapezoid then. As far as what the sheep are eating from. You see what I'm saying. It's making sense in my head. It always does. So we'll see. But for now, we know the whole lower part of that pasture we can mow. And is that it? Is there anything else? Oh, we'll have to, if we do open the dairy, we'll have to figure out whether we want to buy calves or whether we want to buy full-grown cows. I haven't really explored that mod at all yet, so I don't know exactly how it's going to work. Whether you can only buy calves or whether you can buy adult cows. And then when your adult cows make calves, do you have to buy milk to feed them, or is milk provided to them by your adult cows? Unknown at this time, but I know that facility in the southwest corner of the map is apparently where you buy calves, and I think you may buy milk there as well. I can see if somebody's done a video on it as far as how that mechanic functions. And so next episode we will be baling and stacking with that little wheel loader. I'm curious how that works in 19. The straw harvest in 17, I liked it, and I feel like the quality was certainly there. Oh, there goes my voice. I don't know why that happens. I feel like the quality was there for everything but the building. I know there was that pellet factory that just seemed a little, I don't know, not quite done enough. But however they made the models for the actual balers, I feel like the scans and the blender models, whatever they used to construct those, I feel like that was done really well. The building, I never really got it. And it seemed like it drew an unbelievable amount of horsepower. And after all that effort to make pellets, they really didn't sell for very much. And you could use them as food, but the density of food that you got was no greater than if you had just made hay bales. So it seemed like a lot of work without much reward. It didn't really seem to have a point to me. But it was a well-made mod. The quality was there. So we'll see if the quality is still here for 19. I assume it will be. And I'm curious why Aerosoft chose to give that away. Yeah, present tense. Why they're choosing to give it away rather than sell it, unless Giants bought it from them and then gave it away. I don't know. I can't imagine Giants giving away very much at this point, with them not releasing a farm sim version, FS2X or whatever it's going to be called, that they're not going to be releasing one this fall of 2020, as they have for many versions past. I can't imagine them buying something and then giving it away. It seems like they're going to have some, maybe not cash flow problems, but they're certainly going to want to be doing things to generate revenue. And we just had a DLC, a paid DLC, and we'll see what the next one is. Has it been announced? I don't know if it's been announced yet. So we'll see. The next episode will be the first time I've used Straw Harvest in 19, and we'll see how it all works out. And what else? Pigs. We're not doing pigs on this map. We're going to do pigs on Western Shore, and I think that's about the limit. That's all the pigs I can handle. I don't even know if we're going to make money with them on Western Shore. I've never made money with pigs ever. So one pig farm is going to have to be enough. We'll just focus on sheep, and we'll get the dairy open within the next couple episodes. And I think that's about all I got. Our canola, all of it germinated. We didn't lose any. I don't think we lost any to frost. We didn't have any not germinate. And so far, the weather's been pretty good. Everything has enough moisture, so I don't think we'll lose any to drought. So we should have, fingers crossed, we should have a full 200% yield from both those fields with zero loss, and that will be hopefully quite a bit of canola to sell. Or depending on what the price is, we can bank it. We do have storage here at this farm, so we can always just put it away. Depending on how we're doing for money, we can always just put all of it in the silo and sell it when we get a great price for it. And anything else? I did check out the circus. I went down, I've skipped ahead a couple days, so one of the evenings of a day that I was going to skip through the night to the next day, I went down to the circus on one of those days and waited till it got dark, and the lights never did come on, so that was a bit disappointing. That was one of my favorite things about Bjornholm. Bjornholm? Nordholm. Bjornholm. That was one of my favorite things, is at night the way the circus lit up. Seems to not be the case in mod maps. I know there have been a couple of maps with a circus, and there was no, other than that base game map, there was no lighting. Always kind of confused me. Alright, so we lift that, and then we lift that. Alright. Back around to here. See if I can time this just right. So we drop that, and then we drop those. Perfect. Not too bad. I think it's going to be, I may go in and trim in those little scruffy bits on the end that I didn't get to, but I think it's going to be, call it 20 to 30 minutes to mow these fields. Yeah, because I think it was about 20 minutes for the other one, 20 minutes for this one, and then maybe a little longer for that other one because it is bigger and there are some power poles to go around. But hopefully I can get all this done in a few hours off camera. As far as we won't need to ted it, but as far as getting it raked, getting it baled, what I'll probably do is bale one or maybe two of these, and then save a little bit of baling for next episode, just so you can see that straw harvest baler working. And then we'll load up the rest of the trailer, whatever we haven't loaded, and we'll need to find a home for those bales somewhere on the farm. There's a shed that I've been using for the hay bales that we bought. It already had, it looked like just some static, just some scenery, decorative items, but it looked like a rack of fertilizer, so I put the bales in there. And I know they don't, I mean, maybe you wouldn't store food that close to where you store fertilizer, so we can find a better home for them, but that's just sort of where they fit, and it's up close to where the sheep are. There's the barn where we have the wool pallets stored right now. There is a second side to that. I suppose we could put them there, even though I know that barn is technically for crop storage. We don't have any crops to put in it right now, and we do have a silo to put our canola in when we harvest that. So maybe we'll use that root crop barn for our wool pallets and our hay bales. And that is, I think that's the closest shed to where we would feed the sheep anyway. I guess it's a little further away from the dairy. I mean, it's not far. Once you get a couple bales on the telehandler, it doesn't take but a second to drive over there. All right, that's a possibility. We can just start stacking in there. And depending on how many I have, how many bales I have, and how quickly I can stack them, it may make more sense to just grab 3 at a time with the wheel loader and take them directly to the shed, rather than putting them on the trailer, driving the trailer to the shed, then driving the wheel loader up there and unloading them 3 at a time. We'll see. We'll see how it all works out. But yeah, this isn't too bad. I'm pleased with the pace, and I'm glad we were able to have a powerful enough tractor to run proper butterfly mowers, because I know on some of the maps we've been on with smaller equipment, we've used either the trailed offset or sometimes just a single mower on the front, or a combo of those two. But it's nice to be able to get the full, whatever this is, I want to say about 10 meters, 12 meters. It's a pretty wide rig, all told. And we're certainly making quick work of this field. All right. Nearing the end. Yeah, this thing is 358 horsepower, I want to say, and we are just powering up this hill with both these mowers running and heading uphill. No worries. It's nice to use some bigger equipment sometimes. I prefer the smaller, and I'm going to stick with that for the most part. But every now and then, it's nice to kind of switch it up and go with something bigger. Right. I think I hate to leave anything in a field, crop, grass, whatever, but I think we're probably just going to make one more pass, and there will be almost like a little verge. And what we may do is, once we get everything raked up, then we'll go ahead and get that last little part on the side so we're not driving over our mowed grass. Yeah, I mean, that's, when you look at that bit on the right, I think we should make an effort to get that mowed. So after we get everything else off the field, we'll come back and trim in those edges so we don't waste any. On a big operation like this, I know that sort of, I don't know, like a smaller amount of crop can sometimes not be worth the effort. But we've got 1,600 euro right now, so we're not, at this point, we're not making enough money that we can afford to just throw away. Even if it works out to be 1 or 2 bales, you know, that still costs us money. All right, how are we doing on time? 21 minutes, not too bad. So we stop right about here. We'll lift this one. We can actually turn that off and fold it. And we'll pull up just a little bit closer, right about there. And then we'll lift that one, turn it off. And I'm going to back up before we fold this one so we don't snag it in the tree. And there we are. Pull up to the gate to get into the other field, and we'll call it. All right. That's a lot of grass. That really is. I'm curious if we get, I don't know. I can never tell. Oh, we got a little triangle of grass up here on the other side of the power poles as well. I can never tell what our yield is going to be as far as bales until we start baling. This could be, it could be 8 bales, it could be 30. I just never can tell. So we'll pull up on the road right here. And that's us done. All right. Hold that till the brake comes on. There you have it. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 19. This is Sandy Bay. See you next time. Take care now.